Thank you, Mayor Brick. Only 5 days ago, our city suffered a tragic loss that never should have happened. We lost one of our city employees, Sergeant Neil Gunn Sr., a 22-year police veteran. But the loss to the city, to the police department, to friends and to colleagues pales in contrast the devastating loss sustained by the Gunn family. At this moment of severe shock and pain, no words are adequate to comfort the loved ones so aggrieved by this tragedy. All of our lives have been diminished by the loss of Sergeant Gunn. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Gordon. All righty. With that, we will move on to public comment period. Everyone, you have 5 minutes. Excuse me. Pardon? Oh, I'm sorry. Additional agenda items. I apologize. Any additional agenda items this evening? Dr. Gordon?
Thank you, Mayor Brick, once again. At this moment, events are such that the health, safety, and welfare of the people of this city, as well as members of our police department, may be threatened and or in jeopardy. It is now more than ever incumbent upon the elected leadership of this city to set things right. In light of the current extraordinary sequence and pattern of events, I'm hereby calling upon each and every member of the council to join me in placing on tonight's agenda an emergency item for the council to give direction to the city manager to place the chief, Tim Steer, on indefinite administrative leave pending resolution of all investigations. I believe this council has a moral and legal responsibility and an obligation to take such action consistent with our oath of office, and we must act now. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilman Gordon. Do we need Mr. Barlow? Is that just going to be placed on there, or does it require a second? Or
you have two issues. One is, you need 4 votes to put it on the agenda tonight, if that's what that is an emergency items. Secondly, I question the legality of the council directing the city manager to do something with one of his employees.
Right, so I'm just wondering how that would work, because, we as council. Go ahead, Dr. Gordon. No, go ahead, please. Finish what you're saying.
I'm just listening. Go ahead.
No, I was just wondering how that works also, because basically, Mr. Flad works for the city council, and I didn't think we got involved in personnel issues like that. Correct me if I'm wrong.
That's correct.
Mr. Glonsky?
I think Mr. Gordon has asked for something to be placed on the agenda. Probably the first order of business is to vote on it. Maybe Dr. Gordon could explain better his definition of the emergency that has arisen that calls for us to take emergency action to put it on the agenda tonight. But I believe there's certain findings we have to make, even if 4 members want to do this, that it's an emergency and that the matter has arisen
since the agenda was posted.
Okay. Dr. Gordon?
Thank you, Mayor Brick. I respectfully disagree with our city attorney. I've looked at the charter very carefully, but we'll get to that in just a few moments. Sergeant Gunn's death has occurred in the midst of numerous lawsuits filed by current and former police officers, and internal and external investigations of police department by the sheriffs, the FBI, investigators, and by a federal grand jury. The stress and tension within our police department has understandably become toxic. The morale of many of our beat officers has been shaken to the core. We cannot close our eyes or cover our ears to what is going on. The magnitude of the crisis facing our police department cannot be overstated. It has now become simply intolerable. This is why I urge the council tonight to support my request for an urgency item. I believe we have now seen things escalate to a gun being discharged in a residential neighborhood by a distraught officer. For whatever the reasons, this is a health and safety issue that affects everybody. And I think it does require urgent matter. We are not casting blame or accusations against people. I believe we are fully empowered to direct the city manager to place in this circumstance the chief on administrative leave until all investigations are completed. Thank you.
All right, any other comments? Mr. Glonsky?
Well, I guess we'll take a vote to place this on the agenda, but I don't believe that there's emergency and that something has taken place that since the posting of the agenda. I think the events of last week are incredibly tragic, and my heart goes out to the family. But to want to put something on the agenda to take a specific action, when you say close our ears and close our eyes and cover our ears, I can't help but feel that you're grandstanding, Councilman Gordon, because we haven't done that. We haven't closed our eyes.
Please.
Thank you. Dr. Gordon, I think you're grandstanding because we haven't closed our eyes and covered our ears to this issue. As you know, you've sat here week after week. We have issues with the police department. We've disclosed those to the community. There are a number of investigations going on, both internal and external, and those investigations need to continue. They need to proceed, to take action in the absence of facts and knowledge and that in some emergency fashion at a council meeting on a non-agendized item is not the way we should do business. These matters are serious. We take them very serious. But this type of action is not appropriate action in my mind for a city that prides itself on doing things properly. We have problems. We acknowledge them, but when we do have problems, we get to the root of them and we deal with them, and I think that's what we're doing, and we should continue to do, not act on some kind of a immediate basis without having facts in front of us, without having knowledge. So, certainly be willing to hear further discussions around this, but I just find that putting this on tonight's agenda as an emergency agenda to me feels really an appropriate action for us to take on behalf of the community. Thank you.
Mr. Rankin?
Thank you, Mayor. My condolences to the Gunn family. I'm so sorry that this has happened, and we all were shocked by this and quite saddened by this. The Gunn family is a Burbank family, and we all feel very close to that. There are a lot of investigations pending, and sooner or later, we're all going to be privy to information. We're all going to find out what lies at the bottom of all these accusations. My issue with doing this on such a quick basis is if I don't have enough facts. I don't know what Chief Steer did or didn't do that contributed to this situation, and he has a right to due process. We have a lot of police officers in this room, and you all know that everyone's entitled to due process. To just come up and say, discharge him immediately,